Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure to present in this webinar entitled Agile Hacks, Transforming Legal, Procurement, and HR Operations with Agile Workflows. My name is Firas Abdallah. I'm heading the training department at LEXZUR. I'm working under the Department of Customer Success, managed by my colleague Hussein Al-Jardale. I will be presenting this webinar. At the end of this webinar, we will discuss everything related to this topic, depending on the time. And during this webinar, I will try to discuss agile approach and how to apply this approach on our day-to-day operations in many domains, not necessarily computer domains or IT domains.
Okay, Firas, thank you very much for this introduction. I think we're good to go. Let's go. What is Agile? How do we apply it in different areas? What do you have to say about it?
Okay, great. So please confirm if you are seeing my screen.
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay, so our webinar today entitled Agile Hacks, Transforming Legal, Procurement, and HR Operations with Agile Framework. In this webinar, we will see how Agile drive efficiency and adaptability beyond traditional IT environments. So first of all, before defining what does agile mean, we need to contextualize. Let's start by a general context, especially related to our 21st century. So nowadays, we are moving from top-down managerial models. So nowadays, organizations are moving toward self-structured organization or self-organized organization. So we need to ensure that everyone, every team member, every individual owns their own task, responsible to achieve their task, and the objective is to ensure the innovation and the creativity. So we don't need to organize everything in minor details. Secondly, let's talk about continual learning. When we say learning and continual learning, that's mean that knowledge constructed during our daily work is not static, dynamic. So knowledge is dynamic and relative to our environment. Every day we have new things, new inventions, etc. So when we adopt continual learning approach, it means that everyone success or failures in their activities. So depending on their results, intermediate results, we can adapt and adjust our business processes to improve our business. Nowadays, everyone is searching for a shared value. What are the shared values between all people inside organizations? We need to feel better. We need to feel respected. We need to respect. We need to be happy in our work. So the ecosystem nowadays is moving toward win-win ecosystem. Win-win between organizations, between customers, B2B, B2C, C2C, everyone is winning. And the last point that I need to discuss related to competitive conditions, which means that the customer nowadays is searching for high quality with less cost. So we don't assume that customers will accept anything, will pay for everything. No, customers know everything now in the market. They can compare, they can do their own research to choose the better. So this competitive advantage, in fact, it is transformed to survival condition. We need to provide excellence to survive. This is
Yeah,
a very important point. So this
really.
is our context in this webinar or in this presentation related to Agile. So when we say Agile,
Yeah,
what is the meaning of Agile? In fact, Agile is not defined as a simple phrase. Agile depends on the angle or prism through which we are viewing Agile. For someone's agile simply well-being and good values. We are happy in our work. We are flexible. We don't need to come to our offices every day at 9 o'clock and leave at 5 p.m., etc. So we can answer these people, okay, this is agility. For others, the agility is the customer satisfaction. When we say customer satisfaction, it means that we need to provide customer what they want. We don't need to provide customer what we think or we believe it is good for them. We need to understand the customer. We need to adapt our processes to provide outcomes, not outputs. Simply, customers don't care about outputs. I cannot tell the customers, yes, I worked from 9 o'clock until 5 o'clock. I am tired. I transform these inputs into these outputs. No, the customers want to see outcomes, real value, real services, real products.
yeah.
For others also, agile is the productivity, how to be efficient while minimizing unnecessary waste. So to capture, to conclude, agile is all of these pillars or all of these definitions. So we don't have one single definition of agile.
So
Now,
is it across Firas, is it across all the industries, or we can have different definitions of agile based on different kind of industries?
no, agile is incurred from computer science.
Yeah,
Mainly, agile is a manifesto happened in 2001.
yeah,
Okay, and this manifesto is represents an approach in
that's right.
reaction to traditional software development life cycle.
Okay,
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 this is Agile Manifesto encompasses four main values, many characteristics, and the 12 principles. And
yeah,
later on, this manifesto had been applied to other industries. So
exactly.
the objective of this presentation is to see how to uh, take or to adapt this approach used
And
mainly by computer scientists to other domains.
exactly. That's why this slide is about agile mindset and
100%. So, despite it is used in other domains, the same problematic of definition or many definitions related to agile is still discussed in all domains and also in computer science domain. So, if we need to search for a clear definition of agile, we will find many definitions or many, let's say, approaches of agility. Because agile is a culture. It is not a prescription like a tablet of drug or medication to be taken morning, evening, and so on. No, agile is a mindset, is how to be, not only how to do, is how to be. So this is a mindset, this is a culture, this is an exercise to live it, to live it. Firstly, team members need to have open-mindedness, in the sense that they need to be able to change direction, to say, I'm wrong, I need to change my direction, firstly. Secondly, we need to have courage to say, I don't know, to say, I don't have experience, I don't have the capacity or the capability to do this project. We need to relearn our business in its context. I'll give you a very simple example, but a representative example,
Yeah.
especially after COVID-19, okay? If you visit any coffee shop or a restaurant, nowadays, we cannot imagine that a coffee shop doesn't have a QR code to scan the digital menu.
Exactly.
So we cannot open a coffee shop and say, no, we don't believe in QR, we don't believe in digital menus, so this is the menu for you and put it on the table.
Yeah.
Out of a question. So we need to relearn our business since the business itself is dynamic. And the last point of this agile culture that I really appreciate it, this is the approach of laissez-faire management. Laissez-faire, it's not translated to English. Laissez-faire in the sense that the manager must believe in their teams. They
Mm.
must give responsibility and authority in proportional manner to their team members
Yeah.
to allow them make their own decisions, okay, and be responsible proportionally to this authority, because the decentralization is very important in quick reaction nowadays. We
Okay. So,
cannot wait for the signature or for the approval of our supervisor, and the supervisor will wait for their supervisor to get approval. So this philosophy of laissez-faire management is very important to be
yeah.
more efficient, more flexible, and more quick.
Exactly. So what you're saying is you cannot be agile unless you have certain amount or certain degree of freedom of decision making, even if you're not a senior manager in the company, right?
100%. Yes, yes. So
Okay.
if you open the website agilealliance.org, we can see the 4 values of Agile Manifesto and the 12 principles of Agile. So
Okay.
I cannot, in this webinar, browse these 12 principles. So I
Sure.
have chosen 3 main points that I believe very important to describe principles of Agile. Firstly, transparency. Transparency, if I know your birth date, Hussein, I can prepare a gift for you and do a surprise. If I don't have this information, it will be impossible to do this surprise. The same thing when we work together, I need to have visibility on your work, and you need to have visibility on mine, and we need to have visibility on who is making what. So this awareness is very important. We need to be transparent to see the work progress during the day, during the week, during hours sometimes. So the transparency is very important. Why? Because it is a condition to collaborate. I cannot collaborate with you if I don't know what you are doing now, what you did yesterday, what we will do together tomorrow. So collaboration cannot be applied without transparency.
Mhm.
And this collaboration is not simply to collaborate and work together. The collaboration means also to construct, to compose cross-functional teams,
Yeah.
pluridisciplinary teams, in the sense that if I need to produce a car, to manufacture a car, I need mechanical engineer, computer scientist, designer, I don't know, many disciplines to
Yeah.
be integrated to work together. In the computer science, I need data skills. I need front end, back end developers, designer, analysts. So the group must be, the team members must collaborate based on transparency and based on cross-functional approach.
Amazing.
The third core that I need to discuss, the iteration. Very important to consider that our customers don't know what they want from the beginning. If I give you an example. Let's say you have a lot of money to build a house, a villa. Okay? If I ask you, what do you want? Where do you want to put the pool? You will start thinking, I don't know. But if I give you some templates, you will say, ah, this one better than this one. So customers, they don't know what they want, at least after seeing first prototype.
Yeah.
So the idea is how to involve our customers
From the
in
beginning.
from the beginning to ensure that they are satisfied when we apply iteration. So customers are involved in the operation of the development of anything. And in this manner, we can collect feedback from them and produce better quality in the second, third, fourth, and n iteration.
Iteration. Yeah. That's
So
amazing.
these are the three core principles of Agile.
Let's be on, let's be very straightforward for everybody attending with us today, whether they are coming from the legal, procurement, IT business, it doesn't matter. They need to know that their business needs to have a feedback loop in order to create better iteration. No
Yes.
matter what was the industry they are in, right?
Yes. Now in the next slides,
Okay,
I will explain Kanban and Scrum frameworks. In
amazing.
fact, these are named framework, not method. Framework in the sense that they are not considered as a
Yeah,
prescription framework.
exactly.
So you
Just
can adopt some of these framework without being involved 100% in
yeah.
the framework or the other one.
Yeah. Just to be cautious about the time for us, we do have 23 minutes remaining. We're gonna say 20 minutes just to open the door for questions. So I leave the floor for you.
Okay, thanks, Hussein. Thank you.
Yeah.
So here we can discuss the advantages of adopting Agile. Firstly, reactivity. So when we adopt Agile approach, until now, I'm still saying Agile approach. I didn't talk until the moment about a specific framework, Kanban, Scrum, or other frameworks. So when we adopt Agile, we are reactive. We can adapt ourselves to dynamism of the market or dynamism of business requirement coming from external customers. Secondly, when adopting Agile, we ensure that customers are satisfied. Why? Because we are collecting in continuous manner feedback from them to provide them in future iteration best or better qualities. Pragmatic when we adopt flexible and prioritize efficiency over rigid structures. We don't need to follow a manual all the time, follow rigid procedures. No, I can open my phone or call you and tell you I need 1, 2, 3, 4, or contact you on Slack and adapt ourselves to be pragmatic instead of following rigid procedure that need more time. And the fourth advantage related to well-being, if you remember from the beginning when I said for someone agile is well-being, so human-centric, the agility considers that we need, when providing service or product, to respect sustainability. We need to create a sustainable rhythm. I cannot ask my team members to work for overtime,
Yeah.
because if they accept today, tomorrow, after tomorrow, 1 week, 2 weeks, later on, they will burn out. They will say,
Yeah.
no, it's enough. I'm tired. I cannot continue. So we need to respect this workload proportional to what team members can do. And we need to
Yeah.
respect also the capability. So let's assume that someone doesn't have the Java programming language skills. We cannot take a project that use as programming language Java. Simply, we can say this is not our domain. We don't
Yeah.
have expertise in this project. So very important to be human centric. So here, let's contextualize the problem of traditional approach on our topic, HR, procurement, legal operations. So fixed long-term agreements lead to inefficiencies, okay? Secondly, rigid legal procedures in litigation cases, for example, prolong dispute resolution. Inflexible corporate governance policies hinder strategic decision making. So these are very huge problem. So now let's discuss in details two frameworks. Or I'll not say in details, because to explain Kanban we need 1 day. To explain Scrum we need 2 days. So, but now I will explain Kanban. Kanban is a pull scheduling system. Pull, when you go to a coffee shop or to any mini market, you open the door. So sometimes push and sometimes pull. So this is a pull approach. When we say pull approach, it means that I decide, or we decide as teams, to pull a task based on our capacity. To pull the task, this is not pushed to be finished or accomplished by a supervisor.
Yeah.
Kanban is a Japanese word, and Kanban, by the way, is belonging to the lean thinking approach,
Oh.
and it has been created by the father of car manufacturing, Toyota.
Yeah.
And Kanban means, is a Japanese word, means label.
Yeah.
Label. The idea of Kanban is very simple, is to reduce waste and to limit the middle column. If you do you look at this,
The in progress one, the being done.
the being done, and the idea of Kanban is how to limit the being done. In this example, we are seeing the number two. What the number two means? It means that team members are seeing that the number two to be respected. So assume that someone needs to drag and drop task 5, 6, 7, or 8 in the middle column. It will not be allowed until task 2 or task 4 is done. So at the same time, we cannot work on more than two tasks. Of course, in this example, for other teams, it may be three, four, five, it depends.
Yeah.
So what does it mean? It means that the team will focus on quality, and it means that all tasks under to-do column are able to be modified. So we are not wasting, we are not put resources in these tasks because it may be asked to modifications. So we focus on middle column in progress independently on time, independently on time. So the task two in this example, visually, it is greater or bigger than the task four. It doesn't matter. We still work on the task two until it is done. The objective of Kanban also is to identify bottlenecked tasks. Since the rule says we cannot put task 5, 6, 7, or 8 in the middle column, so assume that the task 2 takes more than 2 weeks. All team members, since Kanban board is a visual representation of this workflow. The workflow is to do being done. So everyone is aware that this task 2 is blocking everything. So at this moment, all team members will gather, will collaborate, will coordinate, will communicate to see how to resolve the task two, for example, to be done. So it assumes or it ensures, sorry, that task two is resolved with highest quality, and we ensure that the task two will not take more and more times.
Okay.
Now
Yes.
I'll explain also Scrum framework. Scrum, if do you know the game of rugby, when the two, I don't know the game in details, but when the two team players do a very quick meeting, when they do like
Yeah.
this,
Yeah.
okay, this is the Scrum.
Yeah.
So this, its name is coming from this sport, this game. Scrum is based on many predefined events, sprint planning, daily Scrum meeting, review or demonstration, and retrospective.
Mm.
So from the beginning, the customers is represented by a persona or an individual entitled product owner, and this product owner discuss what are the user stories or tasks to be performed during a sprint. The sprint is a period of time, is a period, starts from 2 to 4 weeks, maximum 4 weeks, minimum 2 weeks. Sometimes some teams they do it 10 days, 1 week. It doesn't matter for our understanding now. So from the beginning, all team members discuss what can they do during the sprint. They select based on product owner priority what are the tasks and user story to be resolved during the sprint, and every day they do a meeting, generally morning, but for some teams they do it in the evening at the end of the day. But this meeting simply is represented by or resumed by three questions. What did I do yesterday? Each team member must ask and answer. What did I do yesterday? What I want to do the next 24 hours, and what obstacles I have met yesterday, and discuss quickly with all team members. And also, I stress on the point that team members are cross-functional, pluridisciplinary disciplinary team. At the end of the sprint, there is a demonstration review where customers are invited to see the iteration, the result of iteration. And after this event demonstration, they collect feedback from client. And before start the next sprint, there is a meeting or an event named retrospective. Retrospective, it is not related to the product or service itself. It is related to the methodology of the team independently on this project. What we did in good manner, what was wrong, etc. So this is the Scrum framework.
It's very amazing. Let's pause like for 30 seconds here and say so two methodologies. One of them is a pull method where tasks are being showcased in a Kanban board and then they are moved from one place to another. And the emphasis on the meetings is used in the Scrum methodology. But maybe this will trigger the people who really wants to minimize the number of meetings per day. I know this is a big discussion these days in corporate, whether we need to have more meetings, less meetings. It's a big discussion, but again, these two methodologies are there. What else do we have in this presentation? Just to be cautious about the time, we still have 7 minutes maximum.
Okay, just concerning the daily meeting is 15 minutes only. Just while drinking, while taking our coffee, just
Okay.
3 questions. What did I do? What I want to do? What obstacles I have met? So here we can see how to make or to apply agile frameworks on our topic, legal, procurement,
Exactly.
and HR.
Exactly.
So
That's where LEXZUR will come, right?
yes,
Yeah, let's
yes,
go.
of course. So, for example, contract can be prepared by iteration. So they are updated to reflect current needs and conditions. Okay? Concerning the procurement, this process must be related to dynamic metrics, to performance metrics, to reflect what we need really what we need. Concerning people or employees, so who says what is the number of employees needed? What is the number of employee that need onboarding? What is the number of employees that need training? So here we can adopt agile approach. I will give you some hacks as you said from the beginning concerning the agile litigation management. So it can be resolved quickly without waiting for a rigid legal procedure that prolong dispute resolution. And of course, concerning governance policies, they will be more flexible to avoid risk of hinder strategic decision making process. So here I'll give you some hacks. Firstly, how to adopt or to apply Kanban for workflow visualization. The visualization management tool is very important. Forget the technology. Imagine that you are working in a traditional office. Put a whiteboard and buy some stickers and try to stick them on the board. This Kanban board in legal domain, how it can be used. Simply, instead of preparing a board to do being done and done, we can prepare a board, draft, review, approval,
Okay.
signed,
Okay.
archived.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we can create a Kanban board, but for legal domain. We
Amazing.
can create a Kanban board for procurement to visualize vendor assessment, RFP stages, purchase approvals. So the Kanban board mainly is to do being done and done, but it can be adapted to many domain. For example, in HR, we can put many columns, many statuses of the workflow represented in board columns, application, how many people or how many persons we have in as applicants, the interview status, the offer, the onboarding. The hack number two related to Scrum, we recommend to do daily stand-up meeting. Instead of saying daily Scrum meeting, we can name it in our context, daily stand-up meeting. This is a meeting, as I told, 15 minutes to synchronize, to discuss progress and blocks, what are the next steps, to be aware, if you remember the first pillar and the core principles when I talked about transparency. How to be transparent if we don't do this meeting daily.
Okay.
Quick meeting, just to be aware who is making what. Just for this reason.
Yeah.
Hack number three, we can increase the quality of work while limiting our being done, our in progress. If we work on many parallel tasks at the same time, it risks to decrease the quality. So, for example, we can limit HR team to 5 job posting at a time, ensuring focus hiring. Hack number four, sprint planning for legal and procurement. So we can plan a sprint for a legal department, for example, decompose project into sprint, and each sprint is related to research, or another one to draft, to review, to finalize. Hack number five, retrospective, and especially retrospective, is dedicated for discussing our methodology independent on the domain. For example, monthly review on process bottlenecks, improvement, post-recruitment feedback, etc. Uh, Here, I gathered for you, I checked many references to ensure that this is a real word success story. In the legal sector, Baker McKenzie utilizes agile workflows for faster case resolution. In procurement and supply chain, IBM reduced supplier onboarding by 75% using agile principles. They don't mention Kanban Scrum, but adopting agile principles. Spotify, you know Spotify for music, and
Yeah.
ING enhanced hiring speed and reduced turnover. Pfizer and Roche use Agile for accelerated drug trials.
Oh,
Okay? So, to conclude, to
yeah. We should
conclude,
open
we should,
3 minutes
yes.
for our
So,
attendees.
when we are agile, adopting Kanban, adopting Scrum, adopting both, we are speeding our processes, we are more efficient, we reduce bottlenecked tasks, we are increasing adaptability because we are flexible, we are quick to react, we collaborate, we increase our individual experiences. When, for example, I have a computer scientist background, when I discuss with a financial person, I will increase our my experience. So the collaboration better to have coherence in a team, middle level team than a low level team with 1 star.
Yeah.
And the examples, look at the examples, for example, in the World Cup. Generally, teams having the stars don't take the World Cup. Generally, I'm saying. And
Okay.
innovation, when we adopt Agile, when we give confidence to our employees, when we adopt a laissez-faire management, when we assume that each individual is owning their task, these team members will be more creative. They will provide more innovation. Thank you for
Amazing.
your attention.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Firas, for this really insightful webinar. Scrum and Kanban were highlighted, how to apply them in the legal slash procurement slash HR industry. You gave us some very summarized hacks. Now, our dear guests, you can ask some questions. I do have one. Thank you. It was a pleasure learning from you at the university. I'm glad still learning from you today. Thank you very much, Malik, for your comment. Any questions from our attendees? Do anyone want to ask any question or to inquire about any concept that was explained today? Just feel free to always ask. So Danielle is saying that Kanban is more flexible and flow efficient for managing work, but why is Scrum still a dominant framework in the Agile? It's a question. So Danielle is asking why we still talk about Scrum while Kanban is easier and more flexible.
Good question. Good question, Daniel. In fact, Kanban is not time boxed, while Scrum is time boxed. And mainly Kanban, as I told from the beginning, it has been created and adopted by Toyota in 1950s, 54, I think.
Oh,
This Kanban is coming from an approach named lean thinking.
yeah,
Scrum is coming from software development
exactly.
domain.
Yeah.
So, for example, I had an experience in KSA in a training when I was in Infosista, and they refuse Kanban. Why they refuse Kanban? Because they consider that I don't want a manager, I don't want to allow team members to pull tasks and resolve them at their pace because maybe they don't have confidence to give this authority or this margin to their employees. While Scrum, there is an let's say a pre-calculation of what can we do during the 4 weeks. So this is a time boxed, and all team members must work to finish the work selected for this sprint before the end of the sprint. So for this reason, we cannot say is more simple or more difficult. So, and another very important thing, if you pay attention to what I suggested at hacks, I can adopt Scrum and perform some Kanban behavior or tricks. So from the beginning, Kanban and Scrum are framework, non-prescriptive framework. When these frameworks become prescriptive, they become methods, and a method is not agile.
Yeah. Thank you, Firas, for this answer. Another question from Suha. She's asking, when we limit the task to 2 or 3, then after they finish, we need to proceed. What about if we receive a task that need hours only? Is it worth to keep it pending for weeks, for example, to finish task 2 and 3? Isn't a way of waterfall? So how we can manage in such cases?
Very good question. Why are you assuming that you will receive a task, a high prioritized task from parachute? Because these two tasks in the middle column, okay, when selected, selected based on the priority of the customer. So if we select two tasks, it is not logic to have a very a high priority task tomorrow or after tomorrow. But the rule is very clear. We need to finish at least one task to pull a task instead. Why? Because who says the or who defines the metrics of priority? If do you say this is high prioritized task, you will lose directly quality because you will say this task is high priority. Another one will say, no, this task is highest than this one. So the customer themselves will decide the highest priority. They sort these tasks, and when we choose tasks from to do, we choose while respecting the sorting of these tasks.
Thank you very much, Firas, for this answer. I don't know if anyone of our attendees has any more questions. Other if we don't have no more questions, we can wrap this webinar. I don't think so. Thank you very much, attendees, for your
Thank
presence.
you all. Thank you
Firas,
all.
thank you very much
Same.
for thank you, Bassam. Thank you, everyone. It was really nice seeing you here today. Stay tuned for our next webinar, how really to use advanced methodologies in management, in tech. We will do that on a monthly basis. Firas, thank you very much for your time, and have a
Thank
beautiful
you, Hussein.
afternoon. Bye bye, everyone.
Bye, 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 everyone.